Hi Mario, welcome.
Hi, how you
How
doing,
is it?
Ranjeet?
How is the day going?
Oh, it's been going great. How about you?
Wonderful, wonderful. So, what's the featured question?
Yeah, of course. Let's get into
Oh,
the
hi
featured
Mario.
question.
Before we do that, we have a gentleman in the waiting room called Venkat. I think after this question, we will invite him also and see. Let's see what he has to say. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Let's proceed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what's the
All
featured
right.
question?
Yeah. So the featured question today is USCIS has approved 5 of my criteria for EB1A green card application, yet my case was rejected. How is this possible?
Oh, it's a very, very fundamental question. We see this happening a lot of times. We even have people who have applied multiple times, got their 3 criteria, 4 criteria, 5, even 8 criteria approved, and yet not been able to successfully navigate through the EB1A process. Now let's understand that EB1A is not. I mean, I have always been saying, and I think our participants in the program know it very well, Mario. I think you know it very well. That is, you get EB1A not because you are fulfilling the criteria, but you are actually getting EB1A because you have demonstrated sustained acclaim. Okay, basically in your field of expertise. Now, one has to visualize that when we are applying for EB1A, it's not your application for the getting a green card, but essentially it is a stamp of endorsement of your excellence in your demonstrated field of expertise, whatever it might be. So fundamentally, there are 3 things which are being evaluated. The first thing is, are you an expert? Second, is your expertise beneficial to the United States? And last but not the least, are you going to continue in the field of endeavor, whatever might be there? Now, this whole process of looking at the criteria and then looking at something called as a final merit determination or a totality or sustained acclaim emerges from the fact of there was a case called Kazarian, actually. So basically, the case Kazarian, it basically talks about a process how USCIS evaluates. It was an adopted decision by USCIS. It basically talks about how to split the whole decision-making process by the EB1A adjudicator. The first step is they check the criteria. For example, let us say there is a judging criteria and somebody might have judged or kind of conducted interviews in one's organization and may have done a very well, and person demonstrates all evidences and everything, and possibly we have seen certain AAO cases also wherein this has been fully established that the person has fulfilled the criteria. But the same criteria, when evaluated from the lens of sustained acclaim, totality, and final merit determination, does not serve the purpose because it does not show that what is the sustained acclaim in that, at what level. So there, the intensity of the work that you have done would be evaluated and assessed. Now remember, we spoke about 3 things. Sustained acclaim, which basically speaks, is not necessarily related to time but the intensity of your work. Second is totality. It is based on the quality of evidences that you prepare. For example, if you are going for a critical role, is your CEO writing a letter? Is it on a letterhead? Is it from a regular manager? So that will intensify the totality, the quality of your evidence. And the last is a final merit determination, that sum total of everything. Comes from Kazarian. It comes from whether the whole sum total of everything, does it present a very compelling case for USCIS to take a decision that your prospective benefit to the US will be beneficial. So there are a lot of people who kind of target criteria. So while in our program we always say that, look, don't try to fit yourself into the criteria, but create a persuasive success story where the criteria will fit into you. So truly speaking, if you look at any extraordinary person in this world, whether they are going for EB1A or not, I don't think they are begging to be fitted into the criteria. These criteria are only levers or a metric to prove your sustained acclaim and benefit to the US. So my message to it's unfortunate that somebody and many people, we have seen that someone got their criteria approved, but one has to see that sum total of all the evidences put together, what is the story or painting that is being presented, this picture. What is the picture? What is the story that what this picture is telling? What kind of a story? That is what is, I think, very important, and this is what has happened. Though you may fulfill even 8 criteria, and we have actually seen that happening with one particular candidate who joined the program. And unfortunately, but yes, I think the person is working with us, and we are trying to help the person to demonstrate more sustained totality and final merit determination. I hope this gets answered actually very well.
Absolutely. Well, we definitely appreciate the insight. I mean, it's great to know, not necessarily how many criteria that you can make, but it's really about the impact that's going to basis like your actual compelled like story to kind of make more insight into what you're going to be doing to be able to get approved by USCIS is essentially what I'm kind of understanding, correct?
Absolutely. That is how it is. Now, before we move to the next question, we have here Venkat here. I would be inviting him in the room here, and we'll take it and we'll see what question he has, and we'll be happy to answer, and then we'll continue with the rest of our viewers' question. So, guys, just keep writing to us actually. So, if you have any questions, we are always happy to help. So, we'll have Venkat now on the stage. Hi, Venkat. How are you?
I am good, thank you.
Right. Wonderful. So, how could I help Venkat today?
I thank you for your answer for sustained claim for totality of that one. I understand that one. So for each criteria, how many items are suppose invited memberships or judging? How many criteria are required? How many items are required?
It's a very good question. Again, I will simplify this for you, Venkat. Okay. Now let us take a membership criteria. Okay. Let's take that. Okay. Now, many people would feel that they would try, and they always opt for maximum number of membership, okay, in their field. Remember, you can achieve EB1. You look at this way, Venkat. For every act of yours, or every item in that criteria that you are trying to fulfill, are you able to demonstrate sustained acclaim, totality, and final merit determination by virtue of that? Or you would need a couple of them placed together as a summation. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes what happens is you may not be able to even get one particular membership directly, which is very, very prestigious. Okay. Let us say, it's some kind of a fellowship which is very, very prestigious. But to achieve that, you might like to serve certain other as a stepping stone. Let's say IEEE or something like that could serve as a stepping stone. Does that make sense? But so one way is that to look at multiple items as an incremental, and the second option is you blend them together as a single item, and say that in that this shows that you have a sustained also, totality also, and final merit also, and because of that prestigious membership you have attained that. That's number 2. And number 3, you could have even one single membership, but because of your original contribution or because of the critical role that you might have played in the organization, you might be getting that. Let's say you get a member of I know a particular doctor who got a membership of Royal Society of Surgeons in the UK. In fact, for any doctor, for any medical practitioner, that would be a dream membership. Now, this person had a privilege of getting this, so even that one membership in that case would serve the purpose. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Got it.
So it is a matter of, you see, when we look at, and it's like whether you are going for 5 criteria, whether you are going for 3 criteria. So you have to see everything in totality, each item wise, and sum total of that.
Okay.
So I would personally still, as a regular, people, we may not get, like I have seen certain memberships where even one single membership or one single award has served the purpose. And I've also seen 5 or 6 put together have not reached that one single level of membership. We had somebody from one of the autonomous vehicle companies, world's leading autonomous vehicle companies. So that person got only one single award, which was a very, very prestigious award in this field of expertise. Only one membership that served the purpose. Are you getting that?
Yeah, get it. Yeah, the intensity of the membership.
So, and there is one more, kind of a tool that I will tell you. It is not necessarily important that you just touch there and touch the criteria and come back. It is like, I always like to call it as a wetting your feet in the water. It's not required. The question is that you have to say, suppose if you're a member, you have to go a little deeper and also contribute to that membership establishment. So what have you done? Now, somebody maybe, let us say, a membership of 4 business council, for example. Then it is not that, okay, you have been a member, so you have fulfilled the criteria. So basically, they are trying to see even the sustained acclaim. So you should write articles, publish articles, talk to people, collaborate articles, write some quotes, you have to participate in other people's endeavor also. So these are the ways that will take you closer to being EB1A. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I got it. And
similarly, for a critical role, for example, now people, if you have worked in one particular company, say for 5 years, let us say that. Now, if you have worked in a company for 5 years, then you may have done multiple projects. So give details of all the projects in that actually. Rather than, so that could become 3 critical roles then. A single company, people feel that, one company means only one critical role, which may not be true. Does that make sense?
And regarding the totality also, suppose judging may start from 2024. We may have the multiple 5, 6, and 11 like that international conferences or something else in the programs. So in that case, we have multiple certificates for judging, and there are proofs and everything. But the time totality or sustained acclaim, because it should not for 2022, 2023 like it start from 2024 to it may be 24, 25, 26 like that it will come. So in this case, how to establish the sustainability?
Okay, now sustainability is, people believe, and it is 99% of the cases it might be true, that sustained acclaim is a product of your timeline. That's what we intuitively believe. But remember, now let us go back, and I think that might answer your question. Now there are always, if you're in a technology field or if you're in a field of expertise, that itself might be very new. Now let us say you are in 2009 right now. Or let us say even more esoteric, let's say for example, you are in 1970s today applying for EB1A, and you are an expert in transferring data from one computer to another computer, which itself was a very big thing that time. There were no pen drive, there was nothing like this. And you create a vision that's saying that your expertise of transferring data from one machine to another is something akin to being interconnected machines, which is the future. And you paint a picture of something which is internet today, where all machines are basically getting connected all together. That will also work. So your field of expertise, or in 2009, if you are expert in blockchain, you cannot have a sustained acclaim from 2005, 6, 7 or anything. So you will have to demonstrate that your expertise is also new sometimes. So this may not be up to your sustained acclaim. It doesn't mean that you can't use a new discipline or a new field or a future technology for this. Remember that. So I in my earlier question, I did say that you have to, there are 3 things for which, Venkat, you are going to get EB1A. The first is you are an expert. Number 2, your expertise is beneficial to the USA, and third, you will continue. Okay. Now, the biggest challenge, surprisingly, in EB1A is not about, is about fulfilling the criteria. In fact, that is the last thing that you should worry about. The main objective is defining your expertise. That what do you represent? So if you are able to articulate, so in fact, we have a patented process, and we have taken a patent also for this, that, okay, fine, how to define your expertise for the purpose of your EB1A. If you are able to articulate, and people in the program take roughly around 45 to 50 days to carve out that niche. Now, if you are able to articulate, just to give you an illustration, when I applied, I was the CEO for Financial Planning Standards Board in India. Then before that, I was the director of Symbiosis. Before that, I was a investment, kind of a advisor. If you connect all the 3, I could have applied as an expert in, let's say, investment manager, as a CEO, as a management expert. But that would not establish my sustain. So I used something called as financial educationist. Now, if I presented myself, so it encompassed all my career path, then your totality would come in everything. So even if I have done certain recently also, that will serve the purpose. So it is not a function of your degrees or job or actual job you have done. What you did to do the job is more important. So if you are able to do that, so don't worry about timing. It depends on your expertise also. So if you have done judging opportunities recently, but it takes, maybe the requirement for that judging was that somebody should have a 10 years of experience or 20 years of experience. I'm just making this up. So how can you say that you have done it? So you did that yesterday. It's like saying, Venkat, that today you get a Nobel Prize and tomorrow you apply, and then it is not sustained because Nobel Prize is like you got yesterday and immediately apply. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Any other question, Venkat, that I could help you? You're on mute right now. Any other question?
No, that's it. Thank
So
you.
wonderful. So wish you all the best, and wish you all the best for your EB1A journey, and keep working hard. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So that was Venkat. I think very incisive question. I think it was more on deep diving on what constitutes sustained acclaim and totality, and I think we could do it. And I think a very incisive question because many people ask us this, that how many items are required. So it depends on the intensity. You could do one item and that could serve the purpose, and you may do 10 and it may not serve the purpose. So I think that was brilliant. I really appreciate his detailing. So wonderful. So what's the next question, Mario, for the day today?
Yeah, absolutely. So the next question is from an anonymous member. He said, I work at a hospital as a senior software engineer, collaborating with doctors, researchers, and the following is his profile. So one's domain is software, AI, healthcare, data analysts. Publications, they have 12 plus papers on AI, informatics, and healthcare and vaccine design in high impact journals. They have 20 plus paper reviews for high impact journals, one book review for Johns Hopkins Press. They have over 70 citations. Their role and impact is critical employee developed several projects used by doctors and researchers in emergency settings across 30 plus hospital departments. As well as COVID-19 contributions, they developed a COVID screening algorithm that was instrumental in monitoring COVID-19 at the hospital, as well as having support letters from chief doctors, vice presidents, CIO, and CEOs, as well as awards received by a third party that was awarded as best employee for contributing during COVID-19. Monumentally, would this profile be suitable for like an EB1A application?
You see, when I look at this particular profile, I see this as, too criteria centric. But I'm not saying that what is the key job or key activity that is going to benefit to the US. I think I always tell people that, before you apply to USAID, you have completed all the program, you have done something. So always think it from a perspective that, okay, how is all this, whatever one has been mentioning, is going to prospectively benefit the United States? That's my simple question, and which is not emerging out. So if not dealt properly, if this answer is not dealt properly, directly or maybe subtly, I would even say subtly, it has to be very directly. I think it has a danger of falling into the same way that I fulfill 3 criteria and 4 criteria still do not getting it. By being from a criteria centric perspective, this may appear very good, but you are saying that in a hospital as a senior software engineer. So does your work or does any contribution demonstrate some kind of that you have risen to the top of your field of endeavor? So just being a software engineer is not sufficient. What is the detailing in that? How you do the work? Who are the people who are going to, kind of recommend you is going to be very critical here. Otherwise, one can keep on doing things and, get into criteria. And perhaps one day if you are lucky, it might work for you. But otherwise, it is not. It doesn't look like to me. I need a story to have more data points to kind of do that, Mario. But yes, and indeed a promising case. Let's put it this way. Okay.
Absolutely. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What is the next question?
Yeah, the next question is another anonymous member. Is IEE senior membership considered a valid and taken into account for the membership criteria?
Okay. I think many people have been asking us, and I have been telling people, you can place this in totality, but don't use this as one of the elements for the criteria, because this really does not show that you are sustained acclaim or totality. While this could serve as a beautiful stepping stone for moving to the next level, maybe as a fellow member of IEEE, that might be very good. But by itself, it does not prove anything. Unless, of course, if you demonstrate that how you have contributed, and that contribution, which only members could do, maybe you presented certain paper and for which it got a big applause in one way or the other, or you got awarded something in a big way, which as a member you used, leverage this platform to do something. That in rare cases, and we have seen in recent cases that this has happened, but they did use IEEE more as a leverage to move to the next level rather than the criteria by itself touching the criteria. And unfortunately, many people still believe that touching the criteria would serve them, but it would not serve any purpose for anything actually. They may still fulfill the criteria, but it would be kind of lagging behind for the purpose of achieving EB1A. So that would be my take on this, and I hope this makes sense. So this may not be the answer which I think the gentleman might be expecting, but I think we need to be very factual, and we genuinely care for people. We want you to help. So achieve greater in life. Don't look this as an extraordinary ability green card only. Look at this as an extraordinary opportunity to kind of become the best version of yourself and then apply to USCIS. This is a wonderful thing. Many people who have been our EB1A achievers, I asked them a question actually that, if you were to get your EB2 green card or directly instantaneously before you started your EB1A journey, would you be still prefer to continue your EB1A journey? How would it look like? Everybody said this has been a wonderful, because they did a lot of things which otherwise by getting green card instantaneously like EB2, they would not have done it. So in turn, your emotional resilience becomes so high and your competency becomes so great that you do things and you really truly become the extraordinary person what EB1A warrants it to become. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole theme of the program. So let's take a last question for the day, Mario.
Absolutely. So the last question that I have here is from an anonymous member as well. Can someone tell me whether USCIS accepts translated copies of articles or not for EB1A after being notarized?
Okay, it's a very good question. So suppose if you have article written in some regional language, let's say it could be in Japanese. We have a student who has written in Japanese. So the recommendation to him also is translate that article from Japanese to English. Get an affidavit, which preferably could be notarized, stating that the person is capable of doing that, of understands both the languages and has been competent to do that, and demonstrate that person's caliber and experience of translation. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, one can say that this is true to the belief and knowledge. I think that should serve the purpose. It's a mere translation job, and USCIS definitely will accept, but it cannot be a mere translation. It should be from an authorized person who is competent to do that. So that was all, friends. If you have any other questions in the future, please write to us and we'll be happy to take up. If you like Venkat and many other people, if you want to come on the show, we'll be happy to help you out. And if you want to join the program, please click the link below and we will be still, we'll happy to look at your profile, reach out to Mario or I. And wonderful. And thank you very much for joining us on a Saturday. And have a wonderful day, guys. Wish you all the best.